Oregon Environmental Council and Climate Solutions, one of our priorities coming up in the next session is energy efficiency. Energy efficiency, as we all know, it's the cleanest, cheapest source of energy we've got, and we have a lot of opportunity to capture more energy and use it more efficiently. This is one agenda item that has a great opportunity to create jobs soon, create more jobs in the state, save homeowners money, save consumers money, and really help the environment as well. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Van Jones, because Van is really been a visionary in clean energy discussions. He was really one of the early leaders to talk about the clean energy economy and talk about an opportunity to really put people to work.
Everybody's heard of green jobs, whether they like them or not, but we don't have a functioning economy. And so all our biggest fantasies for green jobs under ideal conditions, if we got cap and trade, if we got Copenhagen, if we did everything right, 2, 3, 4, maybe 3 million jobs. Well, we lost 8 million jobs nationally in 1 year. So here's what we know now. We've got to do absolutely everything we can do on green jobs, and that still won't be enough. Okay? So we can't fool around now and half do the green job strategy, because we don't have 3 or 4 other places as good as green jobs. So the states like Oregon, like Washington State, like Massachusetts, like California, like Colorado, that have leaned forward, I think need to continue to lean forward. I think Climate Solutions and the other organizations have great ideas for that. I can talk about the ideas that are on the table that I think are just extraordinary. Those energy efficiency dollars are the hardest working dollars in American politics. The solar stuff is sexy and nice or whatever. It's the energy efficiency dollar. Just to give you an example, you take one energy efficiency dollar. Somebody's sitting here, they're unemployed, they've got the skills, they could be working, maybe they're in construction, maybe they're something, but they're idle. With the energy efficiency program, you take that $1, you give it to them in wages. That $1 just cut unemployment. Now she stands up, walks across the street, and now she's going to retrofit grandmama's house. She's going to blow in clean insulation, she's going to replace windows and doors, she's going to put in new furnaces and boilers, she's going to do all that work. Well, guess what? That's stimulating the economy, but it also, that same dollar that cut unemployment just now cut grandmama's energy bill. Okay? That dollar's not finished. Most places, you guys got a lot of hydro, but most places, you got some dirty coal-fired power plant someplace that's spewing out a whole bunch of crap, causing asthma and everything else to people who live near there. Why? Because grandmama's house and every other house is 30%, 40% inefficient. Well, that same dollar that just cut unemployment now just cut grandmama's energy bill by 30%, just cut pollution by 30%, which means it just cut asthma by 30%. Do the performance scoring for buildings, which I think is criminal that we don't do. Can you imagine selling cars to people but you don't tell them the miles per gallon? We do that with buildings all the time. We sell people cars, and you know exactly, you can actually do real budgeting here, because you buy the car, you know how much you're going to spend on gas. You buy a building, you have no idea how much you're going to spend on anything. So just the fact you guys leaning forward, leading on performance scoring for the buildings, right? Now we're starting to count what counts. What drives me nuts is the way that we don't count what counts. Right? Like we don't count what counts. We do dumb stuff all the time in the name of saving money. Most of the time we build buildings, the capital budget's over here and the operating budget's over there. So then you build these buildings, go the lowest bidder, and then you're killing yourself later on because nobody took into account the water bill, the energy bill, the health impacts of the employees. We've got to start having these measures like the energy performance to push those things closer together. Same thing with food. Why do we give all these kids across the country this crap food? Every kid, I got to go to schools 3 times a week. It's always the same thing. Wedge of pizza, soda pop. Why? Well, it's cheaper. Well, we only have $1.37 for whatever. Well, hold on a second. It's cheaper today, but in 10 years when you've got the obesity and you've got the diabetes and all sort of stuff, you're bankrupting the whole healthcare system. So we don't count what counts. And so again, the grid stuff is tough. The energy efficiency stuff is a lot easier to do, but it also politically points us in the right direction. It's environmental policy that saves money, earns money, helps us start counting what counts. We have in America right now 80,000 coal miners who are America's heroes. where they risk their lives, their limbs, their lungs every day trying to keep the lights turned on. And I have nothing but respect for them. 80,000 of them. There are also 80,000 wind energy workers in America right now. We're already at parity with them on a per-job basis. We have 46,000 Americans working supported in the solar industry right now. You can walk through biofuels, smart grid, smart batteries. We put $5 billion on the table out of the stimulus package just for smart batteries alone, through ARPA-E. So what I'm saying is that there is a coalition out there that has already benefited from the wisdom of this president and his commitment to green energy. I think the next fight, since we did lose on cap and trade, the next fight is fine. Our utility companies should be partners with us in repowering America in a clean way. Our American finance should step up to help make that happen. We should create jobs for Americans, good-paying jobs for Americans doing it, and not let Asia run off with the mind share of the global set of green jobs that are coming no matter what, because of the mismatch between this century's demand for energy and the reasonably available supply of fossil fuels. So there's going to be green jobs. The question is, what share do Americans get? American utility companies and banks should be partners for us in making that future more owned by us than owned by others. In your state, it's not true in every state. In your state, you don't have to carry the water for everybody else. Your clean energy workers are making 25% more above average from ordinary workers with similar skills. So you actually can say, listen, your concern is not relevant here in Oregon. More importantly, to the other point, when people say that if we treat our workers well, it's somehow going to be bad for the community or bad for the earth or whatever, the actual data doesn't support this view. Now, I had this fight every day in my last job, but the actual data does not support this view. The better, you can weatherize a whole bunch of houses really cheaply. You want to weatherize them really cheaply? Give 9-year-olds tubes of putty and just let them run around and call that weatherization, right? They'll do it for 10 cents a house, right? You can weatherize every home in America probably for $800. It just wouldn't save any energy because it'd be crappy work, okay? Weatherization has to be done well, right? You can spend a whole lot of money, but the bills don't come down, and then you wasted it. You want to ensure the investment. The way you ensure the investment is you pay people well, you train them well. This is a big part of our carbon reduction strategy. It's a big part of our energy reduction strategy, our pollution reduction strategy, our saving strategy for America. You don't want to do it on the cheap and willy-nilly. You want to do it right. And here's the thing. The same people that have pushed you to say, hey, don't have good wages, don't do good training, just throw people out there, do it on the cheap, will be the same people who come around next year when there's scandals because the work wasn't done properly and say the program was bogus. So these are not friends of these programs that are trying to push the wages down. It's much better to do 50% fewer houses, but excellently, so they actually deliver, than to do 50% more, sorry. So this is not just because I've got a strong commitment to labor, and I do. It's not just because I have a strong commitment to just the equities, and I do. It's also because I have a strong commitment to the outcomes on carbon and the outcomes for the homeowners.